Governor Kristi Noem in a rare press conference moments ago really defending her statements about cartel activity, she says, on Indian reservations.
Look, I can't talk about Kristi Noem. There's too much. Anyway, Kristi Noem said that tribal leaders from those tribal reservations are in cahoots with criminal, illegal, immigrant, Mexican cartels.
Now, those allegations are not sitting well with tribal leaders. 8 of South Dakota's 9 Native American tribes have banned or voted to ban Nome from their lands.
We are following a developing story out of Flandreau. A ban against Governor Kristi Noem is imminent.
The Flandreau Santee Sioux Tribe is expected to make a decision this week on whether to ban South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem from their reservation. If such a motion ends up passing, this would be the 9th and final tribe in the state to support a ban against the governor.
And she deserves every bit to be banned. All of this is deliberate. It's an attempt to destabilize and dehumanize Native people.
Make no mistake, the cartels have a presence on several of South Dakota's tribal reservations. And a gang called the Ghost Dancers are affiliated with these cartels. They have been successful in recruiting tribal members to join their criminal activity.
You don't say that we're in league with criminals.
I think Kristi Noem is a disgusting and racist woman who doesn't know what she's talking about.
She's a phony. She's lying. Maybe someone needs to put her on some meds or something. She's losing it.
Kristi Noem just pops off at the mouth at a public meeting in South Dakota, small town South Dakota, Winter, South Dakota, and she says that Native parents don't show up for their children. She says this in a live event, and nary a gasp was heard. Nobody gives a damn.
And warning, if you like puppies, you're not gonna like Kristi Noem. Because in her new book, Noem admitted to killing her dog. Now, I know that sounds terrible. Look, I know it sounds terrible, but it's much worse.
I'll do everything I can to help him get back into leadership of this country.
Now, what happens if you are debating Kamala Harris and she says, well, wait a second, you shot your dog and you wrote a book about it, bragging about it. How can you be vice president?
Noem apparently thinks this story shows Americans that she's willing to do the tough things like killing puppies.
We've been consumed with emails saying, I won't vote for Trump if he puts her in the vice presidential spot.
Well, I'll tell you, Stuart, I'm sorry you're not hearing from real Americans that live on farms and ranches.
Noem posting this response on X saying, we love animals, but tough decisions like this happen all the time on a farm.
That is not an excuse, Kristi Noem. You can't just go around executing puppies and say, well, that's life on a farm. Even Cruella de Vil is like, Jesus, at least I was making a coach.
She's attempting to appear tough. She's got the stones to make the hard decisions. Killing Cricket wasn't easy. Killing the goat wasn't easy. So she's out here selling lies now.
A governor thought to be a contender for Donald Trump's running mate this November is responding to the backlash over a story in her new book. It's a story about shooting her puppy.
I'm not a political expert, but I think if I had to give a politician advice, I would say the top thing is to not shoot your puppy. The second top thing would be to not write about shooting your puppy. These are the stories she chose to tell to seem tough for the MAGA base in this book.
I think what Kristi Noem did, shooting her dog, was very ignorant and an act of buffoonery.
Taking his life for no reason. I mean, just take it to the shelter. That's what a normal person would do, but if you want to go chase clout, then you kill your dog and then write about it and publish a book about it.
And not only did she admit to shooting her pets, she also lied about meeting Kim Jong-un. Did you meet him?
I've been to the DMZ. I've been to North Korea.
Answering a question that wasn't asked, did you meet Kim Jong-un? I went to the DMZ. Okay.
All of these media clips of her just saying the same stuff over and over, avoiding questions, knowing she can't provide a clear answer, knowing they're going to make her look stupid. I think she's a clown.
Governor, I'm not asking you about the details of this alleged meeting. I'm asking if the meeting actually happened. I don't think it did.
I'm not going to talk about my conversation.
You're going to continue to have to answer this question.
You made the point to bring him up twice, and that he was a little tyrant.
It's like a pathological lying. I mean, she's just lying about meeting with world leaders. She's trying to act like she's some kind of badass. She says she's been to the demilitarized zone, but she never actually met Kim Jong-un. She might as well just say she went to Walmart or something. I mean, it doesn't really matter where she's been. She hasn't met Kim Jong-un. She's just lying for no reason.
Another questionable claim, Nome told interviewers that South Dakota's reservations are a hotbed of activity for the drug cartels.
But we have the cartels set up in South Dakota, and they are set up in South Dakota.
How do you know that?
Because I've seen pictures of them. Our investigators have interacted with them.
Tribal presidents strongly deny this allegation. One tribal leader called it fear-based politics. Both the South Dakota U.S. Attorney's Office and the South Dakota Attorney General's Office failed to confirm the cartels are active in South Dakota.
President Frank Starr comes out, points to Nome's use of the term invasion. A portion of his statement reads as, quote, "We do not belong to South Dakota. We are older than South Dakota. Due to the safety of the Oceti, effective immediately, you are hereby banished from the homelands of the Oceti Sioux Tribe."
I think it's really good that a lot of tribes have been revolting against her by banning her from their reservations.
She insulted Native children at a public meeting in South Dakota, small town South Dakota, Winner, South Dakota. And she says that Native children have no hope.
She's setting a lot of doubt in people's minds, young Native Americans' minds, of how much hope they have, considering that she's saying that I, as a Native American kid, don't have hope. I don't have hope. I don't have parents that show up for me.
And she also made statements about our children and our parents, our schools, pretty negative, derogatory statements.
The ban of Governor Kristi Noem continues to intensify.
In tribal reservations in South Dakota, Governor Nome is now banned from 4 of them. The Oglala Sioux Tribe announcing the ban February 2nd, Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe April 2nd, Standing Rock Sioux Tribe April 10th, and the latest notice was issued by the Rosebud Sioux Tribe on Thursday. The action stemmed from tension that began during the COVID pandemic to recent comments made by Governor Nome that tribal officials claim are untrue and racially charged.
Good evening. A 5th Native American tribe, which has land in South Dakota, has banned Governor Kristi Noem.
Yeah, the Sisseton-Wahpeton Sioux Tribe is the latest to ban the governor, this time from the Lake Traverse Reservation.
She's back in South Dakota. What is she saying today?
Defending her statements about cartel activity, she says, on Indian reservations.
We believe that this federal neglect has resulted in the cartel and their affiliates moving into our reservations.
South Dakota governor's visit to the southern border yesterday. Nome saying live on News Nation, claiming without evidence cartels have moved their operations to South Dakota. Governor Nome alleging some tribal leaders are benefiting from cartel activity on their land. Now, the recent comments landing the governor in some hot water, now banned from 8 of the 9 reservations in her state.
Instead of working with me, many of them have chosen to banish me. And I will ask them right back, why have they not banished the cartels?
There are no cartels on the reservation. There's no cartel members here. I mean, what are you talking about?
Nearby on the Lower Brule Reservation, Tribal Chairman Clyde Estes says the governor's address missed something.
We have no knowledge of any cartel presence here or any of their affiliates. What's really disheartening, we still can't get an apology to our Native children and parents. I think out of anything, that's what we want the most.
Nome said earlier this year that tribal children have neither hope nor supportive parents.
Some of her previous comments about tribal nations, including statements about children and families. Until the governor clarifies her comments or issues an apology, the statement says, quote, "The Executive Council and people of the Flandreau Santee Sioux Tribe will stand with our fellow nations."
Chase Iron Eyes of the Lakota Law Project says the ban is serious.
This is the first sitting governor that is going to be declared an illegal and treated as an illegal person inside of land that she claims is within her civil and regulatory jurisdiction.
And if she'd enter a banned area,
forcible removal, detainment, those are all within tribal legal enforcement capabilities.
Yeah, I'm thankful to the tribes for making a stand against her racist remarks. This shows that the tribal leaders feel that enough is enough. Each tribe is unique and yet took the time to act with unity. So the tribes are coming together and saying, you know, what she's doing is the wrong approach.
She's just an Indian fighter.
Indian fighting pays dividends.
She reminds me of Custer. She wants to LARP on and be able to go against something and make us an enemy.
The consciousness is combative and violent.
For no reason at all other than to pander to conservative and right-wing ideologists.
You know, the state of South Dakota definitely considers itself to be in competition for land, for water, for hunting and fishing, rights and regulations, for spectrum, for electric and digital infrastructure, for airspace.
All this comes down to is colonization, I believe, and this is a white supremacist system. We are not broken. You broke us before we broke ourselves.
And she's just really bad for the young Native American mindset, and just like it's just sending a really bad message to people.
The first thing she could do is apologize.
When I was young, I was taught to apologize when I did something wrong.
When I was little, I was always taught to apologize if I did something wrong.
Since around the time I could even talk and comprehend what other people were saying, I was taught that when I did something wrong and I said something bad, I should apologize for it. And that's a level of empathy that even the most basic of children can, possess. And I believe she should apologize. I believe she should try to understand our people and try and figure out why we are in the place we are today because of people like her in the past. She's nothing new to our people. We've experienced adversity of all levels, and she's nothing we can't overcome.
Freaking Kristi Noem, man. So anyway, you know what? That's enough for me. But you, Madam Governor, deserve every bit of consequence that you're going to get when you offend us, when you attack us, when you dehumanize us. And what you're doing is very clever. It's a long game to destabilize tribal sovereignty. But you know what? You play your game. Your game is not South Dakota's game. Your game is a game of the radical, racist fringe in this country. And you guys are obsolete. There is no country for you. Anyway, I'm going to sign out. Thank you very much.